Okay, good afternoon. Hope everyone is well. Karina, good morning. Jan, how you doing? Okay, so where are we now? Volume's low, isn't it, overnight? And really not a lot, actually, to be fair, very little. So I'm looking at it like that. I've got it on both my charts. It fits better on my second 2000 tick chart. And I actually did take a trade there on one of my accounts. I really like that. A lovely correction and worked beautifully. It looked even better on that one. There was a little bit more of a stem. Ionis, how you doing? So I've had a payment as well. Well, a couple of payments. I'll show you my email. Where is it? I tend to show you. Let's have a little look. There we go. So just those two. So they got approved and paid in the same day. So another $1,850 out of those two. I have had a couple of accounts. Is it one or two? Two accounts that weren't approved. I kind of knew one of them. I might have messed up a little bit. The other one I made a bit. I can't remember what I did on the other one, but that's fine anyway. So at least I've had a payment this month anyway. It's not one of my bigger ones, and to be fair, definitely $1,500 or close to $1,500 of that. Let me think. 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe not that much. Maybe I'm gonna have to work it out. I was going to tend to do it the month, just work out what I put. Maybe $1,000. So it's been a tough month, I think. You know, markets have been choppy. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Markets have been choppy. It's been difficult trading. I think most people I've spoken to, exponential, how you doing, bud? I think most people I've spoken to have found things challenging this month, and sometimes it's the way it is. You know, risk's been a little bit high. It's been doing a lot of choppy. And it really calls on your patience. And sometimes, you know, as what I consider myself still a relatively inexperienced trader, sometimes, you know, patience get the better of you. And you know, I think it goes without saying, the longer you sit down without a trade, I think the more sometimes your patience, okay, market is open. I think the more sometimes your patience can stumble a little bit. And I think that's probably where I went wrong. The trouble is, you know, I've heard lots of people say that, you know, winning can be kind of as detrimental. I don't quite get it, but I get the idea that, you know, sometimes you get a bit too confident. I don't think I do. Now, you know, I'm my biggest critic, but I don't all of a sudden feel like I've cracked it, blah, blah, blah. I just kind of thought that, I don't know what I thought really, but I don't think it affects me. When I win money, I tend to get more careful. So I don't know. But it's been a tough month. So I've got something. So for me, this year is more about being consistent, as in trying to get something every month. I'm not too worried about how much. Obviously, the more the better, of course. But, you know, I'm more concerned with just to get some of that consistent monthly payments. Hopefully this month will be a bit better. You know, my accounts at the moment, I've got 3.9 in one, I've got 3 in another, I've got just under 3 in 2 more, 2.870 in another one, and 2.8 in another one, and 2.1 and 2.4, some of the ones that have been paid out. So they're not looking too bad. So, you know, as we're not even started, what's happened to my camera? As we've not even started the month. Where's my camera gone? Where are you? Freaked out a bit. Bear me a second. I don't think I did anything. Down and across. Wrong way. There you go. So that doesn't look too bad. There we go. I don't know what went wrong there. Freaked out, I think. Hi everyone. High volatility. Yeah, it's been a tricky month, isn't it? I think we can all kind of agree there. But you know, it happens sometimes. And I think the trick is just to stay super patient. And I think that's probably where I may have stumbled a few times. Whenever I seem to have a loss, I seem to have two in a row. I suppose it's, it's quite common, isn't it? One loss, and it kind of can affect you a little bit, can't it? Can affect you mentally a little bit. And I think that's probably what happens. So there you go anyway. So let's have a look. So I don't know about you guys, how you feel about that channel. Let's have a look. What have we got on here? I had that at first, but decided. See the new range. I mean, yeah, initially I kind of had it as a range, but we had a really nice correction and a strong move down. So is it that channel? It's possible. If you look at my left side one, it does fit better. So, I think the order of the day is just to be a bit cautious and don't assume this is a channel. But we have got a little micro there with a break. 2 pushes to a new high. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But, I wouldn't say it's definitely this, but we'll see. So I didn't know whether I'd get anything, actually. They took a bit of time, actually. They took about 4 days, 3 or 4 days. But I continued trading in the end, and at least the accounts are not. But they're all kind of above. I think my lowest account now is $27.97. So basically $2,800 is my lowest. I've only got 7 accounts at the moment. It's been a challenge, and I've lost a bunch of them, I've got to say, over the last month, I suppose. But, at the end of the day, I've lost, when I say at the end of the day, it's still no excuse. It was the lower ones I've lost. The bigger ones I've still got. I mean, I've got 3 of my accounts 60 days old now, so basically 3 months and a bit. So I do tend to get a little bit cautious about the ones that have got money in. I mean, you should really be careful with all your accounts, but it's kind of easier said than done, really, isn't it? So this is what I've got. Whether it's right or not, I'm not sure. Let's have a look at Thomas Wade's. He hasn't got that one. When we had that correction there and it came down beautifully, I would have said that's where we've hit a point and that's where it dropped from. So that, I think, is an important part, as it is now. Whether it's just hitting support here, which is certainly feasible, whether it's hitting some support in that area and pushing down. But as soon as that triggered above there and came down, for me, I'm thinking this is coming down. But I'm going to leave that there just at the moment. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying I'm wrong, but we had this big move up there with a break, a new high, and we retested it a couple of times and then down it came. Another correction and then down again. So I think it's probably wise to draw that as a channel. Because if this bigger channel isn't valid, we'll see. But I don't know. A couple of pictures that I've seen have kind of got that, which I kind of get. But when I put it there now, it doesn't really do a lot for me. So 1, 2, 3. Now that's interesting. I am staying out of that at the moment. Because if this isn't a channel, there's going to be traders, including me, stuck there. And the way that's pushed up, you can see it on there. Now, you can understand why traders would take that, couldn't you? And it did. It's a triple test as well, and it did trigger and then push straight up. So, I was smart enough to just go, okay, let's just give this the benefit of the doubt. We got a channel break, new high, trying to go once, trying to go twice. Big bearish bar, we pushed up and then dropped, and all of a sudden triggered and pushed up. I mean, that looks like manipulation to me. I don't know. Maybe that's the paranoid side of me. But you've got to be a bit careful here. because if this is a range and we are pushing back up into the range, very low volume overnight. I mean, there's nothing really, is there? So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove that and just keep it there. So, but it is going sideways now, so I don't think it's safe to take anything. It's definitely a bit congested. We could have two legs and then it may continue up, or it could eventually fall off and maybe there is something larger. I didn't, Jay. I'll do it for you now, buddy. So we've got some medium impact news coming up in about 20 minutes. I've got my my news indicator up here ready to give me the alert. Hopefully that should look a little better. Okay, channel up there. It does look like two pushes, but I'm on the fence here. There is, I mean, we are struggling a little bit here. Now, I'm going to leave this alone at the minute. I'm not all of a sudden planning on jumping into this. That could be at the top of a downtrend. But I'm not 100% sure, really, mind you, ever 100% sure. But I'm certainly sort of wise enough just to stay out of this and let it figure it out, because it's clearly congested. As I say, it looks like two legs down, so it may push up. And I've fallen for that. It's got to come down. It's got to come down scenario before. So quick spike up, so that cleaned out any, that's what I mean. There's bound to be a few short stops there, which I think is why we had that spike. So there's a channel here. There's going to be people shorting that, whether it's there. I mean, here, you know, who knows. Hello, haven't used Ninja Trader Copy in a while. Now, every chart that I choose shows me an empty chart. I tried all the June, March and September. You know, to fix it. Okay, just now, yeah, you might have given it away there. When you said you try and June, March and September, I'm assuming you're talking on the contracts, the contract size. Also, see, we got this little square with a fist, the data series. Just click on here and make sure, and just move this over a bit, make sure, yeah. So first and foremost, when you said you've tried the June, March and September, I'm assuming you've tried the contracts there. So make sure that it says ES0625 there, and just make sure when it says trading hours, you've got CME, US and blah, blah, blah. I'll leave that there for a second. So just have a look. I'm guessing it's something to do with that. You may have already mentioned about that by saying you've tried June, March and September. So when you mentioned June, I'm assuming you meant that, but I'll leave it on there for a minute. So just make sure that's where it is. That's where it should be, and take it on. Lots of issues with Ninja and consistently speaking to support. However, they're pretty good. Yeah, support are good, actually. They get back to you pretty quick and they always come back with a solution. So I think once in a while, because it's sort of a program, it's stored on your computer. I think Jan will know more about this than me. I think sometimes files can get a little bit corrupt, and sometimes I think it's resetting something or clearing something out. I probably sound like a complete loser there, but you know what I mean. So I think sometimes it's worth giving them, saying you have a few problems and you reset it or reload it or I don't know, you know what I mean. So hopefully you'll figure it out, bud. If you can't figure it out, let us know and we'll ask a few more questions for you. So channel with a break, new high. So there is a bearish bar there. It's kind of a breakout pullback. Would I want to go long there? Not really. I'm just going to sit tight here because, there is a possibility there's a channel here with just a bit of a break. So I'm a bit on the fence as to exactly how I feel about this. So bearish bar, there's bound to be some shorts, and then all of a sudden it's triggered. We got a bullish bar, but it's congested. So my guess is we have a leg and leg. So I'm guessing it probably target that top. But I'm just sitting tight here because it is congested, so that, makes it a little bit more dangerous. But I wouldn't want to be in that short. Leg up, pull back to the top. I'm guessing that is probably a target. But because it's congested, it does make it a little bit more risky. You could also try deleting. Yeah, I use a piece of software which I got free from Apex. It's just called, I think I can probably show you here actually. I don't know if it'll allow me to move it. Okay, it might do. Well, yeah, I use this. I do Apex Invest. It's just called Apex Desktop. It won't let me do it here, but if I click there and click Ninja Trader, and I do this at the end of every single day, waiting for Ninja to shut down now. Okay, well, let me do it. But I just go to Ninja Trader, clear all cache, and it basically does what Jan just mentioned. It clears everything in the cache. And I do that. And there's a certain thing I use at the end of every day. That's it. I make sure I switch all my accounts back onto SIM just in case anything freakish should happen. I make sure I shut down Replicanto. I make sure there's no orders or anything sat there, and that's the last thing I do, clear the cache, and I do that at the end of every day. So that did work. So there is a higher low there. There is a second entry short, breakout pullback. So I don't think that was a bad trade at all, just to the top. She got plenty of points there. Daryl Hayden, bud. So I was tempted, but because it's congested, it just does make it that little bit more risky. But my guess is that was going to get stopped out when that pushes up. So is this a start of a channel? It may well be. Let's have a little look at that. I'm not sure about that. We've got a break, 2 pushes to a new high. So that's a possibility. So yeah, we had a breakout. Traders trading that short got trapped and up it went. So I don't think it looks terrible. Let me just kill the color. So it's an area of interest as opposed to 2 pushes up. So channel, 2 legs back, 2 pushes up. So I'm going to leave this just for a while in case we have a leg and it does come down and retest these lows, but I don't think it is a channel now. In fact, let's get rid of it. It's nice there, actually. That fits much better there. So that may be a little overshoot there. I may just put that back. Two legs and then down. So if there is a channel, possible overshoot, I don't think it's bad. We push up, we go sideways. Often we'll do that and bounce at an area. We came back, tested it, trapped some shorts there. So you'd expect this to go up for a second leg, which it did. Okay, so overshoot there. Often we do that. We pull back, make a new high, and then it reverses. So my guess is this is going to come back quite sharp when I say it reverses. But I think we're going to get a strong pullback. You may be right. That's why I've put that back there. You may be right. Wow, look at that. It's not the news yet. I mean, that pushed up. Maybe I think it's gone a bit too far now. Something's caused that. I'm surprised there. Something's flickering around. I'm guessing there's something's been tweeted or something in the news. I'm guessing, or whether it's just, mind you, if it was going to. I'm just thinking if it was going to take any stops out, it may be that the fact that there are some liquidity here that's caused that, but it's managed to break above there as well. Now, with that being a nice correction, I'm surprised that didn't go a bit higher. So, still not working. So you've put in ES 06. And you've checked that as well, that you've got CME. I think the only option you can do, bud, is just to drop a quick message to NinjaTrader. They usually get back to you quick. I'm sort of not a software-y type, really. You know, what little I know is just through problems I've had myself, but I can't think of anything else that it might be. So I think the only option you've got is to just give NinjaTrader a quick. Just drop me an email. They're pretty quick. So hopefully, had a very nice trade on MNQ, broke VWAP below. Got back. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I don't know what else to suggest, really. We kind of check the obvious things, obviously making sure, you know, you got the contract right, which should... you know, which should show all the bars, but failing that, I'm not really sure, mate. Sorry, I can't help. Just drop my little message. They're pretty quick. So let me have a look at this. See, I think that's gone too far now for the downtrend. Whether it was something tweeted in the news that caused that, I don't know. But often when we get that overshoot, it will come back, make a new high, and then make a big pull back. But that moved up rather quick. So there may be a hidden second entry long here, but after this, the last thing I'd be doing just at the moment is going long. Because if that wasn't an overshoot, that clearly is. So going long here, I think, is risky. Now, it may work. Sometimes these just things work anyway, you know. There's a possibility. I don't know. You may say it doesn't work terribly bad around the midline, but if it does trigger, I'll be inclined to create some caution there. I mean, it depends how you've got this channel. I mean, you may have this channel from there, which may look a little different. But I'm cautious here. It's a little bit congested, and with that overshoot, it could trigger you and come down. So, yeah, hidden second entry long, triggers you. Where's that going? I wouldn't want to be in that trade now. That's the thing about an overshoot. I always avoid that next setup. And that's why if you're in that trade now, it's 18 ticks, sorry, 22 ticks. And I'll be amazed if it doesn't stop that out. So, unfortunately, if you did take that, triggered you, it actually looked a little bit clearer on here. It was definitely a hidden second entry long, but it didn't look terrible on here as a setup. But with the fact that we've had an overshoot, whether that was or not, that clearly was, you'd expect either a bigger correction, a complete reversal. And what I found sometimes, when you get a small break and it comes back and then makes a bigger, a higher high, often it reverses. It's weird, yeah. You know, I went for a phase of taking shorts there, and sometimes it would come back, shoot up, stop me out, and then drop like a stone. So, it could reverse, or when I say reverse, if this is kind of looks a bit rangy, so it may come a bit further down. I mean, you could argue there's a leg and a leg there, so going along there, but same again, it may go a bit if this is a channel, but with that overshoot, I'll be careful about going along anywhere here. As I say, it may go up a little bit, because if this is a downtrend, it may go up to the top of there and then start to work down. So. It's hard to say. Just trying to see if we get any type of fitting around the midline. It doesn't look terrible. That one there. Yeah, as a setup, on here, the setup looked like split apart a bit. But yeah, I'm just cautious because of that. But as a general trade, it doesn't look that bad. That's why I was just trying to fit this and thinking, is there a bigger channel and it's fitting along the midline? It might not be terrible. Yes, news. I'll have another one go off in a sec, a little alarm go off in a sec. So I don't know, maybe there is something a little bit wider there. Is it fitting around the midline? It's not the worst looking thing in the world. Or maybe it's just a leg and a leg, maybe trapping some longs and coming down. I don't know. But just for now, I'm going to leave that like that, because we are finding support here. So there's always that possibility we push down and then we range a little while. Beautiful in the UK today. I think we got about 25 degrees. First time I've been wore shorts for a while. So, got to be a little bit cautious here. One, we got news coming up in a minute and a half. And two, we do seem to be finding a little bit of support here. So, we got a channel down there with a break. Looks like a channel anyway. So I'm guessing we have... Now, if this is a channel with an overshoot, we could get a correction and it may go higher. Or it could reverse, or it could do a bunch of stuff. Okay, so news is in 1 minute, so you've got to be careful. Okay, news. Any second now. Yeah, see, medium impact news didn't used to do that. No, it's just medium impact news, bud. Oh, tell a lie. No, sorry. Yeah, it is high impact. This high and medium together. My mistake. I just noticed the bottom. Yeah, 3 o'clock UK time. Yeah, so high and medium. Okay, so we've had a channel down there with a break and new low. Is this a higher low to move up or what? I'm not so sure. Now that's interesting. Slightly more bullish, yeah. Channel break, new low. We've have dropped down, but it pushed back and we dropped down again below that. Well, that's kind of the open, isn't it? So my guess is this going to try and retest this again? Channel break, new low. So it's a bit of a correction. So so there is a second entry short there, but I'm just sitting tight here. It could go up, it could come down. I mean, it does look like we're trying to get up, which may push it down, but it could do either or at this point. Uh, uh, there is a failure here, but I think this is super risky because one, it's congested. So this could drop. It's triggered that. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world, but it's a bit congested here. So going long into these highs, I think, is risky. We're definitely finding some support there. I mean, this could just drop. It's a bit hard to say. We've kind of come for this. We look like we've tried. So it's just, it may push up for the highs, but I'm just not too sure. Struggling a little bit. I think it looks like it's working. So if you did take that, it's just there's some support along here which concerns me. Well, didn't that work? Once it got above there, because of this overshoot that's making me a bit concerned. Thomas Wade took it. Not much I know. But now look at the thing go. Look, oh. Dan says you can't take it, apparently. You can't take, what's it say? Yeah, you can't take it as a continuation. The fail second entry short you can't take when it's outside the channel. You can take it as continuation if it doesn't break the channel. Not sure about that. I mean, it certainly worked. No argument there. And it worked once it got above here. It just, to me, looks like there's a bit of support there. So it's just one of those things. Yes, I don't know. What I will say is there's a secondary short which triggered, but there does seem to be some support here, so it's just one of them things, isn't it? No, Dan didn't take it. I didn't think he did. I mean, it worked. You can just see there a bit of support. When we push up there and we pull back, you don't know whether it's going to trigger this and come down, but I mean, it worked at the end of the day. If you took money out of it, good on you. I think Thomas Wade took it. Yeah, he did. I mean, what's for it? So we got two legs down. We got a little micro channel here, a small channel here with a break and a new low. Then we had a higher low. Now, it continued on, and then we come up to the top and we reverse. So we hit a bit of support there, but then it triggers. The only issue I have or one of the issues, is it's very tight. And that makes me nervous that it comes back. I don't know, maybe it's just me being paranoid. I don't know. I think it's a case of if you like it, you like it. If you don't, just stay out of it. See, on my second chart here, I didn't have it. It wasn't even a higher low on this chart. Q run more than the ES. There's something large. I mean, we have come up to support now, so I mean, I think really it's shouting range to me, I think, at the moment. 1, 2, 3. We've kind of bounced off this area, haven't we? So, so channel with an overshoot, a correction, new high. So it is looking range, isn't it, I think, for me. Oh, excuse me. I mean, look at this. We've got a big move up with a break and a new high. We've had 2 legs down. We've pushed up. Is this starting to move up, or is it going to come down and test these again? Okay, so channel break, new low, strong move down. So this is starting to just look very rangy now, isn't it? Is there something larger there? It's possible. Trouble is, if you like that channel there, you may be inclined to go long there, and I wouldn't personally. Oh, well, okay. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there is something. Wow, I don't like what it's doing now. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? So is this coming down below there? You'd have to think so, wouldn't you? I mean, that's a big bearish bar. It's pushed above there. So, I mean, you'd have to fancy that to break below there, wouldn't you? I just don't like that quick bit of volatility that came in there. I mean, look, if there is a bigger channel, it could go up. Let's face it. Is there? It doesn't look terrible, but it looks very rangy to me. So I really wouldn't want to be thinking about going long into there, but who knows? So we're going to break new low. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Is this 1, 2, 3 a triple test? Who knows? just a little bit unclear here, isn't it? Okay, 1, 2, 3, and a quick little drop there, but not a decent triple test, unfortunately. But it does. We have made 3 attempts to push up now. Yeah. You took us a second entry long there, did you? Yeah. The trouble is, we're taking longs at the moment. We've had this channel with an overshoot, a correction, and a new high, and it looks rangy. Now, if it is rangy, we've come down from the tops. My guess is we could go down a bit further. It's a bit unclear at the moment whether this thing could continue down or whether we're looking for support and it might bounce to go a bit higher. I have looked at that. But if that's the case, we've had a break out of it already. So I'd say this is more of a range. So it's just a bit unclear. It's a little bit congested. I thought maybe triple test, but that bar wasn't terrible. Wasn't good. It looked a bit better on here, but it still didn't give me the confidence to want to go short there. But I'm guessing it's going to break below all these areas here. There's one for sure. Channel break, new low. There's bound. Oh, it was done by tip. There's going to say there's bound to be 1 or 2 that may want to, you know, buy from that level. Flat for counter trend trading. So go with the trend ones. It's so tempting sometimes, isn't it, to counter trend trade? I used to be terrible for it. But I think at the moment, you know, talking about counter trend, I think it's more of a range at the moment. So we got this leg down with a break. My guess is because of the overshoot or the correction and a new high, especially because we bounced up here, my guess is we were coming down. I looked at that one. It's tempting. It's kind of a nice bearish bar. If you stopped there and this thing comes down, I think it's probably going to be pretty safe. It's just whether it does decide to come down for I mean, you could argue that's a triple test. The bar didn't look fantastic there. So it's just one of those things. You know, I think it'd probably work, but I want, you know, some proper signal bar to take me down to that direction. Because the trouble is, if you get into weak signal bars, they got a habit of getting stopped out before it ends up going in the same direction. So, you know, it's frustrating, isn't it? For the most part, I've learned that if the signal bar's just not right or something's not right about it, just stay out of it. Doesn't always work, you know. Sometimes I got into a trade yesterday, and as soon as I got into it, I thought, what the hell am I doing? So, you know, emotions, kind of a bit of excitement. It's very easy to pull the trigger. You know, you don't have a lot of time to make decisions when you're trading these fast markets. So you have to try and just, you know, your instinct just kind of trades for you, really. It's kind of like driving. You know, I've been driving for over 30 years, so I don't even have to think about what I'm doing. But it takes time to get to that stage. It's kind of with trading, isn't it? But sometimes, you know, inexperienced drivers have bumps. They make a quick decision. They don't make the right decision. It creates a little bit of a bump into the car. But the more experience you have, just goes without saying, doesn't it? You make better decisions with, you know, little time. You know, the less time you've got, the more mistakes you can make. And obviously inexperience, you know, will add to the tally. So Excuse me. Bull bar. My guess is if we can close below this area here, I think there's a good chance we come down towards the lows. I mean, the fact that we've bounced off support. Let me have a look at this. Yeah, it's hard to say. Remember I mentioned this earlier, we got a channel up with a break and a new high. You know, from a bigger picture point of view, I won't be surprised if we have something like this before we maybe continue higher to test yesterday's highs a day. So a leg up with a break new high, 2 attempts to push lower, see how far we get down. Then I think this may pull up for a second leg. So the bigger picture, just kind of like that, really, something like that. Push up, 2 attempts to push back and up again, depending on how far we get down. It's kind of what I think. Now, obviously, we need to get down and close below here. Okay, channel with a push up. Let's have a little look. What about from here? As this is pushing up, I was waiting to see where it kind of went. Let's have a look. Yeah, possibly. I just don't like that bit missing. Not sure about that at the moment. I'm looking at this as a break, I think. We push down, not sure where we go, and then we drop it. If this comes up to here, I may redraw it. I actually took a trade later yesterday. Really nice setup as well. Was it somewhere? Where was it? That one there. It's quite late on, actually. I really like that one. I did work beautifully. Second entry short. I think I had it like that. Something like that. I really like that one. Touch. Confirm the channel. Beautiful second entry short. Real nice trade, that. Don't see a massive amount of those. Really nice, clear setup. Clearly 2 legs up. Nice short. Worked beautifully. I mean, that first bar was 5.5 points, but I like that. I took that. I just happened to be sat here at the right time. So, I'll tell you what I will do. Let's just put that there and just see if it clips that area. Yeah, I just happened to, he passed on it. I thought it was an absolute beauty. Mac marked it as well. Mind you, it's strange, isn't it, how we can all kind of see things slightly different. It's weird, isn't it? I know some trades I see people taking, I think, I'd never take that. But they work. It just goes to show. See, Mac has got this without a break. Oh, no, tell a lie. Oh, he's got it up there. Mac's got that there. I've just seen that. Yeah, there's the break. So he's got this as... Let me do that. He's got this, not as a bigger channel, but as that. Oh, he's got that as that. Mac has channel break, new low. So I think Mac's system is more discretionary, and it was 10 years ago. Yeah. There's definitely some support down there. You can see it bounce. So whether, yeah, Mac's got his range here and there. So not sure about that. It could just be 2 legs down, but Mac's got that as a little micro with a break, 2 pushes to a new low, and then 2 legs up. So, yeah, it's surprising how we can all see things slightly different. I suppose we all have our favourite setups or the way something looks. You know what I mean? So, do you notice Mac's video was talking? I think he was talking about Thomas Wade, wasn't he? By the sounds things, on about somebody's Discord. I don't think it would have been Dan's. I think Dan is probably the closest to Mac, trader-wise, that I've ever seen, actually. Those two are almost like blood brothers. They're I think Dan's really good at mimicking everything Mac does. His charts are very, very similar. It's sometimes a bit quirky, but it works. Thomas Wade's kind of quite different, so I'm assuming he was talking about Thomas Wade's. I'm guessing someone who is Dan. I'll show you where's Dan from this guy here, Dan. You do know who he is. I'll show you. If you're on the Facebook group, you'll know who he is. He's one of the. Let's move out of the way a minute because something pops up that it shouldn't. What did Max say? Well, he didn't say his name specifically, but I think he was talking about him by the sounds of things. A couple of other people said. Where's Dan's charts? You know, if you're in the Facebook group, you'll know Dan. He's like the second best looking person in the group, apart from me. I was joking. Dan, yeah, Daniel Kushin. His channels, just the way he draws and the types of trades. Dan the man, yeah, he's probably the closest trader I've seen to Mac. I mean, look how many trades. That's why it blows my mind that he only ever goes for 6 ticks. Look at that one. Look at that one. Look at that one, that one, that one. Whenever he marks these trades, they seem to drop. I don't know about going for 6 ticks. I'd be going for 60. You know what I mean? But yeah, Mac is the only one who takes. No, he goes for 6 now. He does go for 6. I mean, if you look at his charts, I don't think I've seen one that hasn't gone for 3 points. Mac is oh, sorry, yeah, my mistake. He is the only one that, yeah. I remember saying to Dan a few years ago, why don't you go for more points? He says he finds the stress of just sitting through 4 ticks hard enough. But, you know, I think everyone's different, really. You know, I still speak to the odd person that's adamant that they stick to 4 ticks. But I think when you sit in front of these charts and you've taken hundreds of trades and you see them all go for a minimum of 2, 3, 4 points, I think you'll ask yourself the question at some point, do I go for more? You know, I certainly think really from my point of view, I think 2 points is a good start, is the starting point. But, you know, Dan does well going for 6 ticks, but he has a runner as well. So, you know, if it works for you and you're making money at it, and a lot of money, I get the reason not to bother changing. Once you know, if you're making money, it's like the old saying, isn't it? If it's not broken, don't try and fix it. So if it works for them and they're making money, fine. No point in changing. But Dan, Mac had that talk, didn't he? He mentioned it. It was a few weeks ago. He went, "You've got to take 4 ticks, blah blah blah." And then 6 months ago, he said, you know, if you can only afford to go for 1 or 2 contracts, you've got to go for more points. The numbers don't work. So, you know, we know he has mentioned that before. But Sean Ading, buddy, with the amount of contracts Mac and Dan takes, the longer you stay in the market, the more stress. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. If you're making a good amount of money and a good living out of it and it works, why change it? Why change it? You know, as newer traders are coming into the market, you know, if you've been trading for 10, I mean, what's Dan been trading? 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. Mac 20 odd. If you've been taking the same amount of points and making a great living, why change it? I absolutely get it. But for newer traders coming into the space, I think, you know, really 6 ticks minimum, I'd say, you know, but, you know, Mac teaches a point. The only thing is, I just found it so hard even to seem to have some sort of success for a point. I think if you can only trade 1 or 2 contracts and you're not using a runner and you're only going for 1 point, you're going to struggle to make money, I think. You're certainly going to struggle to find any sort of real consistency. That's my opinion. You know, it's not everybody's, and I you know, I absolutely get that. You know, I get everyone's got the right to an opinion. And if you think sticking to 1 point is the way to go, then absolutely, you know, I'd shake your hand and say, fair enough. If that's what you believe, that's what you got to do. But I get it with Dan going for 6 ticks. If he's making money, why change it? If you start making changes to something that's already working and making you money, I suppose in a way you may be setting yourself up for a failure. Because Sod's law, he goes for 2 points and takes a loss. Straight away that gets inside your head, doesn't it? So, like ways of logic. if you take one loss, it can take a week to get it back 40. It can. Did I remember going back a few years, I had a kind of I think I had an email with Mac or something, and he went, "It takes time. Don't worry about it. Don't be hard on yourself and all this." And I remember coming back into on a Monday and thinking, right, I'm going to really try hard now. I'm going to take great trades. And I took 4 winning trades in a row over the space of 2 or 3 days. And I lost one trade and I ended up in the red. So my 5th trade was about 4-point risk. Now with commissions, I ended up in the red, and I found it heartbreaking. And I was thinking, I've got to get an 80% win rate just even to break even. How the hell am I going to do that? But then when I moved to 2 points, you're making 100% more profit. I'm thinking on every 3 winning trades, I can afford to lose one. No chance you make money when your risk is always 12 ticks. Yeah, going for a point. I understand if you're a very competent trader and you go in for a runner. But yeah, it's risking 1 to make 3 minimum in most cases. I mean, for instance, now that ATR is 2.1. So let's pick a particular signal bar. Let's pick that one there. A few people tended to take that. So let's say you go a tick above there and a tick below there. So let's put a tick above and a tick below. So you're risking 5 1/4 points there. So with commissions, let's make it fair and make sure we get it accurate. There's a tick. Yeah, so I'm bringing it a bit tighter. Yeah, it's about 5 1/4 points. So if that didn't work, you'd be down, let's say for argument's sake, you were trading 2 contracts, you'd be down $525 plus commissions. So you would have to win the next 6 trades in a row just to break even. In fact, yeah. If you won the next 6 trades in a row, you'd be slightly green. And that is such a big feat to do when prices like that. When you're risking, it's too much. And it's not unusual to find bars of that size. Let's find another trade that seemed to work okay. That one there, maybe a failure, maybe a lower high, whatever, it did work. That was even bigger. So, I mean, that's 7 1/4 points. So with commissions, you've got to win nearly 8 trades in a row just to get to break even, at least 7. You win the next 7 trades in a row, you're still in the red. I can't see how you can do it. If you had a shop and you bought bottles of milk or whatever, and the price doubled, you can't continue to sell milk at the same price. You have to put your prices up. Otherwise, you're going to do yourself out of business. Now, I'm not telling Mac he's right or wrong. I got a lot of respect for the guy. He's taught me a skill that hopefully is going to help me for the rest of my lives. So I'll always be grateful. But I think sometimes Mac's sort of, I don't want to say biased, but he's been doing it that long. He's that good at it. He doesn't know any different. And when you're that good at something, it's very hard sometimes to see it from the eyes of a kind of a beginner. But how can you risk 7 1/4 points and only go for 1? You're risking over 7 to make 1. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, I understand it's not always bars that size, but the difficult part of this strategy, and I've read in so many books and stuff, always keep your risk the same. You can't with this strategy because your signal bar is different every time. There's another one there. Let's have a look at that one just for argument's sake. Average size bar maybe. So let's have a look at that one. So you go a tick above, tick below, you're risking $650, $625 maybe. So if you won the next 6 trades in a row, you'd still be in the red. I don't see how you can make money doing that. Now, if you've got a runner, then that will tip the balance in your way. But how a new trader going to, be able to afford a runner? Mac will say no more than 20%, 25%. So realistically, you need to be trading at least 4 contracts. How can you trade 4 contracts? I don't want to rant on, and I certainly don't want to seem like I'm picking on Matt, because I'm not. I've got a lot of respect for the guy, and I genuinely have. But when you got signal bars like that, unless you really know what you're doing, you're going to get crucified, and it's gonna mess with your head. You know, I know if we had Mac on the live stream, we'd have a chat with him. He'd say, "Yeah, I get that. I get it. He'd understand it." But as a newer trader going for a point, you're going to get crippled. It's going to mentally cripple you. You're never going to win as many trades to be able to, make losses like that back. If you take 15 trades and you take 2 losses, you're in the red. With that, taking 6, 7, 8 points, let's say you take 12, 13 trades and then you take 2 losses, you're in the red. So, I think 2 points minimum. At least then you go in for 100% more profit. You've got half a chance then, I think. You blink, you're out. But absolutely, yeah. Now, I know sometimes when I've said stuff like this before, people go, well, if you don't watch Mac, don't watch him, blah, blah, blah. It's not really Mac. I understand he's very good at what he does, and it's just the system, really. The way it is with the risk is so much more higher. I mean, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were looking at double that. It wasn't unusual to get a 12-point bar. How can you still go for a point? I won't say any more anyway, because I know people get a bit touchy about it. Don't get me wrong, I've got masses amount of respect for Mac, just for the fact that he teaches people to trade for as little as $125, and the amount of hours he's put into it, making these videos going back 13 years. I take my hat off to guy. He's the least person on YouTube that would ever rip somebody off. I genuinely mean that. So it's okay to, when you start to get a bit of experience, to disagree with things. And it's okay, I wish this or I wish that. It's okay to do that, But, it's okay to disagree with someone and still have a lot of time and respect for them. But it is my opinion, and I know it doesn't sit for everybody. Yesterday, Max said not to listen to other Discord's sources of information. I don't get the idea that his way is the only way. Yeah. It may be the fact that someone said, I watched Thomas Wade and he said it's okay to do this, he's okay. Or it might not be Thomas Wade, or I watched someone else and they say it's okay to do that. You don't know what they've said. If they say you've got to go for more points, then, I may understand why he says something, but he probably gets hundreds of emails saying so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. Why isn't it working? I think if we had, and we know Max said it before, if you can only afford to trade 1 or 2 contracts, you have to go for more points. The numbers won't work. So he said it before. So we know that he's aware that, things are difficult. If you're a newer trader and you are still only going for a point. If you're a business owner and your stock price doubles or triples, you have to put your sales price up. Otherwise, you're going to do yourself out of business. It's a fact. The bigger the risk, all these bars are bigger, not just the signal bar. So how does it make sense still having the full risk of the signal bar, but expecting the next bar to be tiny and just to make a point? Every bar, when the ATR goes up, every bar's bigger. The profit bar and the risk bar. So for me, it's a no-brainer. But I won't say any more anyway. I'll just piss people off. But utmost respect for Mac. Utmost respect for him. So don't email him and say, Lance said this, Lance said that. I'll deny it. It wasn't me, Mac, sorry. No, I got a lot of time for the bloke, I have. He's old to do set his ways. Yeah, if somebody's very good at him and works, I get someone not wanting, and I certainly get the concept. If it's not broke, why try and fix it? I do, I get that. So, what is going on here? basing your profit on the ATR? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got my profit at 3 points at the moment, and I think that's okay, I think. Now, normally, ATR 2 to 2.5, I think, for the most. It's 4, and I've got mine to 3. I mean, some people just go 1 to 1, so whatever they risk. Now, there is an element of it's okay if you got a 4-point risk, but if you're going for 4-point profit and it's way above the tops, there is a possibility that there may just not be enough room. So I think sometimes you have to use your discretion. Now, all I go for 3 points. If we're trading in a tight range, then, you know, I think with experience, there's a little bit of discretion that you have to sort of, you know, you have to make a judgment. We got a channel with a break and a new high. So, you know, when you get a bit experienced, I think you kind of find your own way of doing things. And I think Mac could agree with that. In fact, he said it to me before in an email. You know, learn what I teach you, and then as you get more experience, you find your own kind of way of trading it. Some may stick to the, you know, the lower amounts of profit, like Dan and Marco, and I think some go for. I think you go for a little bit more points, don't you, Brant? But I think you have to make a judgment. If we get a leg up with a beautiful correction, there's times like that when it is worth going for more points. But it's not always the case. But you know, at the end of the day, you're risking your money. You have to make your own decisions because you've got to live with them. You know, you can't just follow someone else just because, you know, Joe Bloggs said you've got to do that. I go for quite a bit. Yeah. Now, it goes without saying you're probably going to lose a few more trades, but when you win your trades, you're going to make a lot more profit. So, you know, if we risk 1 to make 10, you may lose 7 trades in a row, but if you make profit on that, so there's so many different ways to skin a cat, isn't there? There's so many different ways. You know, if you get into a trade here, you might decide to go for 10 points every time. Now, in that case, you've made it. You know, if you're going short, maybe here, it's not going to work. Or if, you know, there are certain times where there's a lot of profit on the table, but, you know, you have to pay attention to your drawdown as well. There's no point in going for 10 points if the market comes up here, comes back and stop you out because you've lost 10 points of drawdown. You need to start with $2,000 micros for a year. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think it's a good idea to try and grow an account, however you do it, whether it's a sim or whatever. But it's weird. If you remember back, I remember when Wilson, I'm just trying to think who's been around. Brant, you've been around for a while, and Karina. Maybe going back 3.5 years ago, Wilson, everyone thought he was trading live, and I think, wasn't he going for something like 30 contracts? And he made an absolute killing. Because I remember someone said, he's not trading for real, and some guy said, yeah, he is, he made $1 million last year. And then a few months later, he started going for evaluations, so we found out then that he was trading a sim. He never said it wasn't profit. I think people just assumed, so it wasn't his fault. But then all of a sudden, when he started taking evaluations, he crashed and burned. He really seemed to struggle. He turned into a different trader. So even with trading on a sim, once you start adding money into the mix, it's amazing how you change as a trader. It's weird, isn't it? You know, money, when money's involved, and obviously that creates, you know, we got an attachment for money. You can't not have an attachment for money. But, you know, trading's a journey, and you kind of have to feel your own way, you know, listen to more experienced people, but ultimately you kind of find your own way of doing things. But there's so many ups and downs before slowly those ups and downs become less and less, and you get a little bit more stable. Trying to get viewers in line about fake trading. Don't like the guy. I don't speak too much now. We used to chat now and again. But he kind of comes, he'll come out a little bit and then kind of disappear. But it was weird how when he was trading on a sim, he seemed to make a killing. And then all of a sudden, when he seemed to trade evaluations, he struggled. So it's amazing how these things can change you. That kind of looks like an upside down head and shoulders, doesn't it? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Is there any way of turning this, turning it round? You can see that shoulder. Mac mentioned a pattern the other day, didn't he? He said he doesn't trade patterns, but if he's ever seen a head and shoulders, but it does look like a shoulder, a head, a shoulder. Most people you're watching are just scams and shows. Yeah, you don't know who does what, really, do you? You really. That's why if I take payments, I like to show people. Not because I'm bragging about it. You can't really brag about making $800 in a month. Well, that's mine anyway. I had a couple refused, which is okay. I kind of knew, but I had two there, 1,850. So I'm more pleased to just get something for April, because I thought April I was going to struggle a bit. But you don't know who earns what, really, do you? You don't know whether people, there are. I'm not a YouTuber, but there are people out there making a fortune on YouTube, and you really don't know whether they're real traders or whether they're just, trading on a sim. Because when you trade on a sim, it becomes so much easier. But YouTubing doesn't interest me. All I do is stream. I don't make videos, really. They don't interest me. I'm not interested in being a YouTuber. That's for the younger, better looking, interesting people. So channel break to push you to a new high. Now, we've been up here once before and we had a pullback. So, well, we actually had a drop. So are we doing the same? All I call them is marketeers, yeah. I mean, there are some people who make an absolute fortune. Oh, Sam, how you doing, my friend? I think Wilson is faking his earnings. I do believe he had I think he had something last year, but I think he's kind of went through the same thing as me. You get a little bit of success, and sometimes it comes with a bit of failing, doesn't it? And you end up stumbling for a week or two. And I kind of did this month. I lost a few accounts, and you just don't know what people do ultimately, do you? You tell them, Karina. I mean, I watched a program actually about that Mr. Beast, and he turned down an offer to buy his channel or whatever it is for $1 billion, which shocked me. And then when they were talking about it, and there was this business guy, and he went, okay, he's got this channel, he's got that channel, he turns over this, he turns over that. I'd say it's probably worth 20 times that. $20 billion for a YouTuber. I mean, people like him are just really good at doing those things. People like Jake and Logan Paul are two others who've made a fortune from YouTube. I don't knock them. I take my hat off to them. If you're the type of person that can gain followers and make money out of it, good luck to you. Selling a course. Yeah, I think it's harsh to sell someone a course when you can't do it yourself. I don't think that's the right way of doing things. Taking advice off somebody and paying for it when you can't do it yourself, there's something that just seems a little bit not right there for me. I mean, if I was struggling to make money and charging people, I'd feel like a faker or a con man or something. No, it's amazing how money makes people do things. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different YouTubers out there to do with trading, isn't there? You really don't know who's making what. You've got no idea, really. So that's why I kind of like Matt. I thought, if this guy's only charged me $125, he's not ripping me off. I'm going to say I consider myself fortunate coming across Mac, because, you know, I do know a few people who've paid a lot of money. I know a girl in the UK, mindfully trading. She paid nearly $3,000 to, is it warrior trading? Now, I do think he does make money, but you can pay a lot of money to people and you don't really know what you're getting. But with Mac, you can take a punt, can't you, for $125? You've got nothing to lose, have you? Pure marketing scams. Yeah, you don't know who's doing what, do you? There is a great guy on YouTube who shows most of these. Yes, I know. Iman Trading, yeah. He's quite comical, actually, isn't he? And he has a massive following as well. Yeah, he does. But he's had people like Patrick Wheeland that he's done. And I thought Patrick Wheeland make money. And it was the other one, Trades by Matt as well. He did a video about Trades by Matt. But I was under the impression Trades by Matt makes money. Perhaps he does now, but he didn't at the time. But yeah, why do you think I show people my emails? I just want to stay off his radar. So move up to attempts to push lower. This thing looks like it's going higher, and testing this. I kind of was thinking it may go a bit lower, but you took a snap, did you? My guess is this is probably going to go up and test yesterday's lows. I give Iman Guy credit the amount of time. Yeah, absolutely. He must have to do one hell of a lot of research. Looks like it's probably going to go and test this area. It does. Let's have a quick look at the 10,000 tick chart. I'm guessing. Is it? Okay. So yeah, it does look like a leg up. 2 attempts to go lower and another leg up. So it does look like we are testing these areas. We're generally slowly moving, aren't we? So we got 2 legs down, 2 legs up, 2 legs down. So basically 2 attempts to push low. We couldn't get below here, and then off we trot. So my guess is it's probably going to test this area up here, isn't it? Leg up, 2 legs back, leg up. Things do seem to have settled down in the Trump world at the moment. And hopefully it continues to last, because I mean, that ATR was ridiculous at one point, wasn't it? But I pick myself, even if I see 2.5 million paid into a bank account, and yeah, I still don't believe a single bit. It doesn't hurt to be cautious. It certainly doesn't. Ultimately, all sorts of things can be manipulated, really. The way I see it, though, if you are making a ton of money, surely those people are off enjoying their life. If you're making a ton of money, why burden yourself with having to make YouTube videos and that? You'd be, I mean, if I was earning that sort of money, no disrespect, but I'd be off. I'd be enjoying myself. You know, I did this to kind of make myself, first and foremost, the first thing on my mind, that if people are watching me, I'll less likely do something stupid. And then it was obviously to mix with other traders. And I'm not going to lie, the money from the affiliates, which tend to average at $1,200, have helped my trading costs. So I'm not going to lie if that doesn't help as well. But that's not originally why I started. But if I was making a couple of £1 million a year, I think I'd be off enjoying myself. I'd certainly be going on a lot more holidays than I do now. But if you're earning that sort of money, you'd be off enjoying your life, wouldn't you? Not burdening yourself with a YouTube channel where you've got to consistently, make videos all the time. That's just use your code to purchase a few accounts. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Very kind. We haven't seen you for a while, mate. Where you been hiding? You haven't been here for a while, have you? Now, there's a guy who makes some money. Don't ever feel sorry for tattoo artists, will you? They make a flipping fortune. I don't even know why you're bothering trading, to be honest with you. I'd hate to think how much you guys make. Some serious money in that, isn't there? Mind you, I bet you got to put the hours in, I suppose, haven't you? Imagine having to sit in front of breasts all day with tattoos. That must be awful for you, bless you. You have too much time, do you really? Didn't get a good bar at the top. Oh, up here. I have moved that up there. It does seem to be. That's my first ever tattoo there. See that? Cost me £4, that did. Long time ago. So, have we bounced off support here? We've had a break of this channel and we've pushed up. So, is this coming back into this channel? My only concern here, I've updated Replicanto and now can't find it on Ninja. Let's have a look. It should be there. Are you still with us, Jan, are you? You need to create a new key for Replicanto. It's not there anymore. Oh, a new key. That's about a little bit above my skill level, that is. Can someone help him out to do that? Does anybody know? Ask support. They fixed it for me as well. Okay, you might have to drop an email to support, bud. It's been that long ago since I got it. I can't remember what I had to do. Support is great. There you go. Sorted. Yeah, you need a new key. I can't remember how to even set the thing up anymore. Trouble is, it does worry me about having to transfer everything onto another computer. How the hell do I do it? Not that I'm planning on doing it, but... So we got a leg up with a correction. So this may go up for another leg, but the fact that we've hit support up there for the third time, we got close to it. I wouldn't want to jump into a short just yet. Support at flowbots.ninja. There you go. I'm going to say it's the one bit of software I never seem to have any headaches with. There may be a spike in a channel here. I'm not in a hurry to go long here just yet. Is it going to continue? It may well do. We only got down to the open. But we've had a bounce up here, so I'm a bit cautious. There is a bullish bar there, but I think it's a bit early to go long there, especially when we've bounced off support. These are the bull bars at the EMA pushed and one here. Yeah. I'm just a bit more paranoid than you, I think. With that push up and a correction, we kind of didn't get to the bottoms, and now we are moving up what looks like a spike in the channel. But when we've just bounced off support there, I'm just holding a little bit of caution just in case we get a second leg down or this thing decides it wants to come down and test this level. We may, because we've had that, we may get a leg and a leg. It may come down and test this area. It's hard to say, really. Yeah, when we do come off this area, we got up so far and we pulled back quickly. We've been up here twice, right at the top, and there was actually 4 bars, and then it did pull back. So, I mean, it may continue on and push through, but it's just a little bit, I'm just a bit unsure. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick break. I'm just getting a bit thirsty. Where's my break? Oh, there it is. I'm just going to put that up there. We may get a second leg down here, so just keep an eye on that. close to yesterday's highs. Yeah, we got yesterday's highs up here. My guess is that move up, 2 attempts to go lower, so I think it probably will reach this area. But as we've come off the top, if you're going to bite this, my guess is it's tested this line. My guess is 2 legs down here to test this area may encourage more buyers. There may be a lack of buyers here. So I would just tend to be a bit cautious. It may work, but as we've come off the tops, really, I would want to come and retest this area, I think, first, because if we bounce off here 3 times and we can't come down, that may be a good catalyst to encourage buyers to push up. But don't listen to me. But see what I mean? Liquidity there. Is there going to be a liquidity grab here, or are we just going to have 2 legs down and then there's going to be? So you've always got to be cautious there. If you got in there, you may have got a little something, but I'll be shocked if it doesn't do that. So yeah, unfortunately, you get used to seeing these. Just where to be a bit cautious. I'm not even 100% convinced that that is a little spike in a channel. Has anybody else got it? Thomas Wade might. No, Thomas hasn't. A few people have, though. I'm not massively convinced. It may just be a break and a push up to the top. So I'm going to get rid of it. I don't think it's as important as 2 legs back. You have a spike and yeah, it may be. I don't think it's the worst one in the world. I'm just not sure at the moment. I'm not sure, but we've got 2 legs back here. We've cleared out liquidity here, so that may push up. Trouble is, when we've come off the top, I don't want to automatically assume that this thing's going to go higher. I think it will. Yeah, that channel's played out. If you've got a channel here, it's played out. That channel's played out. So where does it go from here? Does it go up? I think it probably will. Whether it goes up now or whether it comes down and tests this area, sometimes it needs to test these areas before buyers have the confidence to buy it again. So I'm going to leave you with that just for a few minutes. I'm going to go and make myself a drink and I'll be back 3 to 5 minutes. Let's have a look. Now, this to me is starting to look like a little channel. So, leg. So, my thoughts were this line will get tested. So, is this now coming down into the range, or are we just testing this and that may encourage buyers? So you may argue there's an overshoot, depending on what we're seeing. I mean, it may come crashing down, but the fact is we've pushed up and we've bounced twice here, and we know there's support there. We can see it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I certainly wouldn't want to jump into a trade here, but well, I certainly won't. But be interesting to see where it goes, whether this does act as support. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to leave this at the minute. The overshoot disappears if you use the whiskers. I've got my whiskers, yeah. This one's far more enjoyable. Yeah, I'm not convinced it is, to be honest with you. It may just be a couple of legs down, but there is 2 legs there and a little bit more. So, thing is, we've come off the bottom, and we've bounced here, and we've bounced around about the same place as well, and we've pushed up. We've bounced here, and we're bouncing at the moment. Now, whether that holds or not, I don't know. Trouble is, it could just range again. It could come back down here to this area. But my thought process, if it reacts here, then it may slowly continue up. But who knows? Who the hell knows? Okay, so that bar has triggered and it's about to get stopped out, isn't it? Watching the downtrend for the second swing here. Yeah, that's probably a better option. I just wanted to see if this holds or not, but I didn't like it as it was. That actually looks a bit better. That's kind of what we're doing. Then we attempt to push up. So yeah, that makes it's a bit neater, doesn't it? Okay, so if you did, it didn't hold at support there. We had a bounce there, but then it's dropped below it. So I suppose the next place, if it comes down, is here. So it is starting to look just a bit rangy, unless it's a move up, leg and a leg. Who knows? See how far this thing comes down. There's definitely some support around there. You can kind of see that midline playing a bit, can't you? And then obviously the next place is the open. That's providing some sort of support. We did break below it, but instantly pushed back up. So it's just a plain range day at the moment, isn't it, today? But now we've pushed below support. If we can get a second entry short up here, we may get something. Dan actually took that trade. I'm surprised. Well, there is a second entry long there. That's probably why, yeah. The bar wasn't fantastic, but he's a smart trader. Second entry long. So it is a failure, but it was a tick off a doji on his. So, but you can see the second entry long that's triggered. And then once this starts to come down, then yeah, I suppose so. Just wasn't fantastic on mine, really. It is a failure. I suppose you are trapping longs there, aren't you? But I wouldn't want to go short there, really, because you just don't know whether it's going to have a go. Yeah, he doesn't take a lot of aggressives. Occur the swing high before. Yeah, he doesn't take a lot what I would consider aggressive trades. But if you take a trade a lot and you're very good at it, you know, I get it. If something continues to work for you, I get why to take it. But we got 2 legs down, so there is probably going to be some longs there. So, mind you, if he goes for 6 ticks, even if he gets in there 1 tick below the signal bar, he's comfortably out for the lows. He only takes 6 ticks. I mean, it's got to push below. That's enough for him. So once this starts to come down, yeah, that's the thing, really. If you only go for a very small scalp, there's a lot more trades you can kind of get away with. I go for 3 points, so but I don't know. I'm just leaving it just to figure out what's doing. But my guess is it was going to come down to support and then maybe continue higher. You know, we've pushed up, we've bounced here and we've bounced again. So I don't know is the answer. Pass on this snapback because of the engulfing. Yeah. There's definitely support there. We can see at the next level, I suppose, is the midline, isn't it? There's a big bull bar there, which is triggered. Trouble is, it's a bit congested. Just wondering if that does come up a little bit higher. Is that going to look... still don't like it. So maybe a hidden second entry short, some bulls trap there, maybe there. It's pushed up and took that one out. That one is too far from that EMA for me anyway, so taking that liquidity out maybe before it comes down a little bit more. Now we're up there. Is this going to look a little bit more, a little bit better? Tough one. So that kind of looks like a shoulder, head, shoulder. So Keep saying so, don't I? Bounce, bounce, bounce. It does look like we're having another go, doesn't it? We did identify this line as an area that may encourage buyers. We dropped below, bullish bar, then another one, and it has seemed to work, isn't it? At least temporarily. That's quite strong, isn't it? Yeah, they do. So, channel with a break. Now, is this coming down to retest this and break the lows? It's looking like it. It had a go to push up, but all of a sudden it just lost its steam and down we came. So, channel with a break. Where's this thing going? I can't see this testing it and pushing up again. My guess is it's probably going to come down and test these lows, I think. Trouble is, yeah, it looks rangy, but it's not coming down strongly. It is now. So there's bound to be liquidity below here, which could take us down below there, which would take us down to this midline here where there just seems to be a little bit. So I've got both here, whether you like that one or whether you like that one. That one on that chart doesn't look terrible. No, yeah, that looks a bit better, but we've had a break. Strong push below that EMA. So a second entry short here may not be terrible, but there is support there, so going short into it might not be the most encouraging thing to do. So shoulder, head, shoulder, which is a bearish pattern. Certainly on this. Okay, you'd have to say that's vulnerable. I was hoping we get a little bit of a pullback first, but not sure we will. So channel break, new low. I mean, that's quite a pullback, that is. Whether there is something larger there or not, I don't know, but I mean, it's certainly possible. Something like that with a break and a new low, I don't know. It is a little bit choppy though. It's definitely just ranging at the moment, isn't it? It'd be interesting to see how low we get. Are we going to get to this level, or are we going to get to the midline? Or it's not the easiest of trading days, mind you. I say that every day. Perhaps I should stop moaning and just get on with it. Chart's struggling to break below the EMA. Interesting. Channel break, new high, pull back, 2 pushes up to a new high. Kind of looks bearish temporarily, doesn't it? Be interesting to see if this thing drops. Interesting. Yeah, it might be. Nice second entry long, is there? My concern is we got a channel break, new high, big bearish, but well, possible. And it looks like a bull flag, doesn't it, that? One, two, three. Is that kind of like a triple test? I wonder. It is a bit, it is a bit boring, Karina, isn't it? I know we really had little volume today. Really, I mean, it's clearly just range at the moment. I mean, there is a slight bullish feel to it if you want to see it that way. You know, we kind of looking like we are slowly grinding up, but you just don't know, do you? Ultimately, you never quite know where it's going to go. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Nigel, when you got days like this, it doesn't hurt to finish early. You can put your feet up. Let's get better the roll. Yeah, it does. Sometimes it can be. I'm going to say that trader, I just happened to come by the chart yesterday. It was down here somewhere. That one there. Really like that one. Nice little channel down. Perfect little second entry. Worked beautifully. Exactly what it was supposed to do. It's not often you see something quite clean like that. I mean, look how nice it fitted. Touch, touch. Confirmed it. 2 pushes up. Beautiful little trade that. Lovely little second entry. It closed exactly where in the right place. 1 tick off its lows, right below the EMA. This is coming down, isn't it, all day long for me? I like that one. I don't know. Did we have something larger up here? I can't remember now. We had something like that, didn't we? I can't remember now, to be fair. But nice little trade that. I just happened to be sat there at the right time, and there we go. You don't often see stuff like that. That's just got everything going for it, really. You can see clearly 2 little pushes up. Nice bearish bar right at the key entry point, trapping longs there. You just don't often see them. So we've had a channel with a break. So whether you're seeing that, a channel with a break, I tend to think, I noticed when you look at Dan's charts, he keeps things very tight. But I mean, you could put that like that, I suppose. Maybe. We've already had a small break, so he does keep things tight, Dan. So when you keep it tight, it does look like a little push up with a break and a new high. But we do seem to be, well, we tried before. We came off the tops. We tried to get up. We came back again. So we're trying. I mean, this thing's trying to get up. Going to say from the bottoms here, when we got up last time, we had a correction. And every time we've come down again, we didn't get as low as this. So you kind of think that maybe there is kind of like a bullish feel to it, but it's still a bit choppy and a little bit unclear exactly where it's going in the short term. So it's just one of those things. It's just one of them days. Excuse me. It's a bit boring today, isn't it? Looks like it's heading to the top. Yeah, it could be. We do seem to be struggling. Every time we pull back there and dropped, we pulled up again. Now we're up again. All of a sudden, look, is this looking like we may, I don't know. Move down, a couple of attempts to push up. It's hard to say, really. Could go up, could come down. I won't be surprised if it comes down. We just don't seem to be going nowhere today, really, do we? second entry. It just seems to be struggling here a little bit. It's getting a bit congested, which means it's losing a little bit of momentum. So I wouldn't be surprised. We've been up here, well, we come off the tops. We've been up here a few times. We seem to be struggling. So I wouldn't know where to long or short here. I certainly wouldn't be thinking about longing it. Not that we've got anywhere to long. I certainly wouldn't be thinking about going short just yet, because it could do either or. But it's just not seemed to be going anywhere. And as Karina says, it's boring as hell. We certainly seem to be struggling to go anywhere at the moment. Oh, my apologies. Okay, we're clearly struggling here, aren't we, to get up? So, so that would be a second entry long if it forms. The trouble is we've clearly struggling to get up here, and then we had a bit of a drop. So it's just not looking like a great place to go long here. Okay, guys, I'm going to knock it on the head. They're on board out my arse. It's just going nowhere at the moment. I may come back for an hour later. I might go and start the dinner. So I'll leave you guys to it. Best of luck if you're carrying on trading. Otherwise, have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll catch up again tomorrow. It's Wednesday, isn't it? Tomorrow, is it? Tuesday today? Wednesday tomorrow. Yeah, have a great evening. Stay safe. We'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.